10 places to find the best free fonts for commercial use with 2 bonuses. The first one is BM Nicks, Brandon Nickerson's studio. All the links are in the description, but if you go to the link and you scroll all the way down, you'll see all of these fonts. Brandon actually releases a free font pretty frequently before he starts selling it for money. He lists it always for free. This week you can see it's Nokia. And if you click on it, you can just add to cart and then you'll be able to download it for free. Now, every week he releases one. It's about every week. It's not so strict of a schedule, but I would say it's been about 3 to 4 fonts per month. But I set a weekly reminder to just go check out his website and then see if there are any new free fonts. And you basically would just want to scroll to the bottom, but a ton of these fonts when they first came out were free for a limited time. So I would say if you see a free one, just go ahead and get it. And here's some of my favorite ones. As you can see, every time he released these, they were released for free. They're really unique, a lot of display faces that can be used a lot of different cool ways. I would strongly recommend that you follow this guy, number 1, and then check out his website and maybe pick up a paid font or 2 because he's being super generous and all of these fonts are honestly at a great price. Number 2, by the way, I'm trying to order these from least commonly known to most commonly known. There's chapters and there's links and everything, so if you just want to skip around, feel free to do that. Now, second one is Kern Club. This is kind of a hit or miss which fonts are going to be free and which aren't, but they always have some fonts available for free. And of course, they have a ton of really cool fonts that you can just buy. So if you want to do that, that's sweet too. They're super affordable. But what I like to do is press Command F and then type in sale. And then usually all the ones that are on sale are free. So there's some super sweet ones. This Bubble Shack one, Weasel Face, Jazz Hands. These are all, again, display faces, but they're super cool to use and they're pretty quality in my experience, and I've found a lot of uses for them in my projects. So strongly recommend you check them out. They're being super generous. They also have a ton of other products, but if you click on fonts, you'll see all the fonts only. They also have texture packs, vector packs, things like that. But of course, the fonts are the main attraction for this video. That's the whole point, right? That's why we're talking. All right, number 3 is a French foundry called Velveteen, or I'm not completely sure how to pronounce it, but there's a link in the description. They also have a ton of super cool display fonts. These are all free. They're available for commercial use. Here's some of my favorite ones. We got Pillow Lava, super popular font actually. You've probably seen this around somewhere. Really funky, really cool. We got Outward. I really like this typeface. Condensed, bold. It's kind of my style. A lot of great uses for it. We got Le Murmure. Just ignore that I did that, but beautiful typeface, lots of personality, great ink traps there. We got Savat. I'm trying to pronounce it in a French accent, but you know, I'm not French, so they got a lot of examples of it being used for your inspiration. I would strongly recommend you check out this foundry. Everything is free for commercial use. All right, number 4 is the League of Movable Type. Apparently, they are the first original open source foundry, as you can see here. If you look at their catalog, they've got a ton of quality, well-designed, and a diverse array of free fonts that you can download and use on all your projects. Here are some of my favorites. I really like the Noya Black. I think it's pronounced Noya. This ligature is super cool. I would definitely find a ton of use for this one, and you can just double click and then type in whatever you want. I also like Railway. I actually had a few clients that had this as their brand font, so it was super useful to have a way to get that because clients don't always send you the stuff that you need. And then you have Sniglet, which I really love. I really love rounded display faces. I think there's a lot of great use for them. I would strongly recommend checking out League of Movable Type. Great foundry. Number 5, Font Share. Now, Font Share, unlike the previous 4, is actually not a type foundry. It's a place though that has a collection of fonts designed by various type foundries that are all free for commercial use. So you can see at the bottom of these, the credit designed by Indian Type Foundry. Now, the majority of the first ones that you see are going to be designed by Indian Type Foundry, but if you go further down, you'll see that there are other foundries involved here as well. Now, of course, you should explore as much as you want, but here are some of my favorites. I really like Clash Display. I love me a good workhorse font that has a little bit of personality. And then we got Panchain. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I really love a wide typeface. Super, super beautiful, well made, and there's even a variable version in there. Next up is Bonnie. I also love a condensed serif. This is really cool, and it has really fun terminals. You can get a ton of use out of this one. Now for number 6, we're more than halfway through. Font Fabric. Now, they don't exclusively make free fonts, but they have a free fonts section on their website where everything is free. Browse and see what you like and see if it's free or not. And if you like something that isn't free, maybe consider buying it. But some of my favorites from Font Fabric, Gwen, there's a variable style, there's 14 styles. You can download for free. I also really like Code Next. I've actually had some clients request that we use this font on their projects, so I know that this one is actually useful. I also really like Intro. I just love the vibes. You know what I'm saying? Number 7 is Type. It's a free fonts project, a ton of free fonts here, also a huge variety. Now, most of them only have one style, but you can still find great use for them, especially if they're free. Some of my favorites, I really like Days. I really like Oranienbaum. I don't know pronunciation. I don't know what I'm doing. Forgive me. I like Nixie, and there's a lot of other ones that I think, given the right client and the right project, could be super useful. Number 8 is none other than the legendary Open Foundry. Now, there's a ton of fonts here that are super popular actually. So I'm gonna just point out a few of my favorites, but you should definitely look through and make use of as many as you can because they're free. Some of my favorites, I like Inter. This has been used a ton, but great workhorse, great clean sans serif. You should go for it and use it in your designs. I also really like Bagnard Regular. I actually really like the regular and the sans regular. Both versions are, I think, super cool to me. I also really love Poppins Medium, another super popular font that has been used in a lot of logo types, but also clean, round, sans serif, really nice. Check it out, my friends. All right, now number 9 is the least known, least well-known, the best kept secret. Actually, it's the most commonly known. It's Google Fonts. You probably have seen all of these fonts somewhere, especially on YouTube. I know Roboto is everywhere. Open Sans, Lato. I've used Montserrat, Poppins, Source Sans. I mean, all of these fonts have received love from me. It's just a really great place to get fonts. And there's a lot of variable fonts here. There's fonts in a lot of different languages. I would recommend that you check this out, especially if your client doesn't have a budget to buy fonts after they approve your design. Using a Google font is going to give them the most budget-friendly, but beautiful and most usable option. I would check this out if you haven't already. Last, but certainly not least, is Use and Modify. They've got a ton of fonts here. I'm talking 25 pages of fonts. Have at it. Explore. Get the stuff you like. Use it on stuff. Some of my favorites, I really like Heal the Web. It's really wacky, display, unique typeface. I like unique typefaces because I can use them and have something feel unique, of course. Next, Ferrite Core. This has actually been a really popular typeface. I would be surprised if you haven't seen it around already, but if you haven't, download it and then use it. Redaction, this one is really cool. It starts as, you know, kind of a regular display, nice serif typeface. The italic feels really good as well, but then if you scroll down, it gets progressively more redacted, which is a really cool effect and I think would make for some really cool posters or graphics or whatever you want to make with it. Strongly recommend you check this one out. And I also really like Tecna Sans. There aren't that many weights for this one, but super clean. I really like the sharpness and it would make a great typeface for headlines. Now that's all 10 places you can get commercial typefaces for free, but I'm gonna show you 2 bonuses that have a mix of personal or commercial usage. It depends on the typeface and you can go through and look at it. I think there's some really quality fonts here, and if you're not using it for a client, just for a personal project, it would be super useful. So let me show you these 2 bonuses. Again, the link is in the description. Number 1, there is this free font collection on abububoards.com where there's a ton of super cool, super interesting typefaces. These are all free, but I would go in and click on one of them so that you could see the details of the actual license. They're going to take you to a different website where you can download it. This one looks like it's free for personal use, and then you can look at the full version. If you want to get the full version, it's actually really cheap for commercial use. It's going to be like that for almost all of these fonts, so I would just check these out. Super cool collection. That's number 1. Number 2 is going to be Behance, actually. This is the social media platform owned by Adobe. Now, if you just type in free font, if you click on the link, it'll automatically take you to the search results. There's a ton of free fonts, and there's a ton of fonts that are actually being added to this regularly, so I would actually check back on this pretty frequently, but there's a ton of fonts. They're either free to try, they're free for personal use, or they're free for personal and commercial use. It might just be like one weight is available for commercial use, and if you want the rest of them, you buy it. Or I would just, if you find a font that you like, click on it and you'll be able to find the licensing information, and then make sure you use it without breaking the law, my friends. That is everything. Thank you for watching. All of the links are in the description. Let me know if there's any resource I missed. Let me know if there's a typeface that you found in one of these things that you really love. Just let me know what you think in the comments, and make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, make sure you follow me, all the things. But most of all, thank you for watching. I'm gonna keep putting out content. I know I've been MIA and inconsistent, but I know consistency is the name of the game for YouTube, so I'm trying to get on top of that. So you're gonna see me more often, but I'm gonna do instead of tell this time, because I've always been saying that. So thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later. Peace.